And away we go. And away we go. First live stream. Here we go. Nobody's here because we've not done any marketing. This is more for testing. Testing the live stream. See how it goes. It's going to be just like the recordings, except I'm getting used to all of this software, this latency, and all of these settings. Hello, everybody. JD here, Jim Daniels, the Fig. Let's get going this morning. Of course, I got in here early. Tested everything yesterday on a Sunday. This is a Monday morning. Tested everything on a Sunday. And of course, even with the testing, everything on a Sunday, got in here this morning, nothing works. Had to redo the key for the stream and everything like that. Let me get off, turn that off back there, at least mute him. Going through market structure stuff this morning. Hope everybody's doing good. Idea of this channel is going to be real simple. People that want to make some extra money in the mornings, people that want to replace their jobs, people that want to figure out how to be more profitable trading, or just learn something different, add some things, some setups to their trading. I've been trading since about 2008 on and off. Started in the financial crisis because it was a financial crisis. Sometimes I did options throughout the year. Sometimes I did day trading. It just depended. But this go around came from after the pandemic. 29 months in the RV. We sold everything. Said the world could come to an end again. So we sold everything. Did 29 months in the RV, and then we got done with that and figured out, hey, how can we make a living remote and live any place we want? And so we raised our kids in Tennessee. Now we're living Emerald Coast of Florida at the beach every day, living the dream, as they say. And let me shoot my buddy over here a link to the stream real quick. And living a dream, as they say. And it's how it is. So that's how it be. Looking at the charts here, what's going to pull the NASDAQ down today, we're trading the NQ and the futures, is probably going to be Tesla to open. Elon Musk has decided to start a new political party. Thanks, Elon. I just went long on the options when we hit 300, and I went long on TSLL. I'm not offering any advice. I'm not telling you guys how to trade your money. This is all for entertainment. If you want to paper trade with me, you'll probably make money. If you use your own money, you'll probably lose money. I'm supposed to say all of that. So you've been told, and the disclaimers are in the videos. Please don't inform anybody that you listened to me and lost all your money and you want me to go to jail. I am not a financial advisor. I do not play one on YouTube, okay? I'm just showing you what I do to make a living. And you have to hit the buttons and make your own decisions, okay? All right, disclaimers out of the way, and I might do them again as we go here. Let me pop out the chat. I got to get used to doing these different things. I didn't know how arduous all this would be to manage. I got mad respect for all these video gaming kids playing video games. That's who I've been learning the most from, because they're the most proficient at working the video game aspect of this. And let's face it, trading has a large aspect is video gaming. I don't trade the pre-markets and I don't trade the open, you guys. It's just a way. I've just been burned so many times over the years. I just don't. And so I just don't. And I'm going to go through everything that I'm showing everybody here as we get going. Let me put this on live chat. You got to learn a lot of things. If you don't have it on live chat on what I see on the back end, I can't see anybody's comments. My wife and I, Kiki, Terry and I were testing everything. I was like, I can't see your chats. What are you doing? What are you doing wrong in there? And then, I went on AI and I said, Grok, I can't see the chats. And it says there might be a drop down button at the top there that says live chat. You got to be on your side. You can't see anybody. You're only going to see moderators. I said, what? I got to get a moderator? Yep. You're probably going to need a moderator, if nothing else, to kick out the trolls. Oh, look. Hey, Tim. Hiya, Tim. What up? Tim is in here to help me test. Tim, this is public, buddy, but I have not told anybody about it. So I have not done any broadcast emails, no Facebook, no LinkedIn, no Instagram, because I'm trying to learn how to do the buttons, and I'm going to do a little trading today. So we'll just critique and see how it works. And having latency issues, had to redo the key stream this morning. It's been, yes, I'm absolutely live, my man. They approved me. Let me try to get the volume set because I don't want this thing to ping. I'm trying to watch the volumes and make sure that I got the chat out. So I'll just get this over here. I'm trying to look, you're number one in the chat room, Tim. You're number one, buddy. So I'm trying to get the just get all the buttons and everything working here. Yeah, I got the charts are showing pretty good. Let me see if I go through the charts. Everybody's up and going. It's certainly, I can't tell if what I'm seeing you're seeing exactly, but when I'm looking at the screen over there, it looks like his picture is not clear. Matt's picture is makes him look real dark. Have to work on that once I look at the recording, and then there's all kind of settings we could adjust for that kind of crap. But anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to see what the Tesla's news is going to be, right? And so with Elon going off the deep end, it's going to affect everything, especially people like Tim and I that are, yeah, they give me a 500 subscriber threshold, but because of the age, I appealed to them because of the age of the account, Tim. And you remember, I started these things way back when I started RVing, and I just didn't do any content, but I knew I had the idea. So all of my social media and all that's dated 2022. So that was a good little in. So we're up and going. We'll see what happens. As soon as I get used to working the buttons, maybe do a couple weeks, just you and I, invite a few friends here and there, and then I'll start blasting 10,000 social media influence stuff and see if we can't get some people in here. See if we can't get some people in here. Today, Tim, what I'm going to do, I'm going to trade one account because I'm real nervous. I'm trading this little Tradeify account, $50,000 account. No trades yet. We're going to wait for the market to open. I'm going to do some solid plays. We're going to do our normal VWAP. I'm using VWAP and RSI. Going to trade on the 1 minute. Trade on the ASHI 2 minutes, and we're going to do this in real time here. Going to trade for about an hour and then critique the video, the volumes and everything. And you write in the chat if you want, Tim, if anything's crackling. I got the volume set over there where I might have to put the TV on if some news breaks or something and I can hear it. And then, you know, kind of go from there. Been working on the lighting. It's quite the undertaking. But besides, I still have to trade. It's quite the undertaking to get all this crap set up. And then I got in this morning, worked fine yesterday, testing it with Terry, learned that on my end, there's a back end chat window that I have to put it to live chat. There's a couple of different settings. If you don't have it on live chat, then you only see moderators. And Tim, you just become the moderator. I don't know how to promote you to moderator. I'll have to get on Grok. You need to get on Grok and say, how do I get promoted to a moderator, and tell me in chat. And then you will be the first moderator. Congratulations. You'll be the troll master, right? That's all moderator really means is when in the beginning, it's to kick out trolls and ban people, which we won't be able to afford to do many of those. We want to need people in there. And then the second thing would be to take orders for our affiliate sales. Jim, they're not buying anything for trading. They want Kiki's bookkeeping class. All right, whatever sells, sells. As long as we help people make some money. Tim, you need to put together how I short every day for $500 course. Sold at address optional. I'll just be an affiliate seller for you. You develop some of the courses. So we had a lot of action over here on book maps earlier, and I'm going to wait till the market opens and start talking about this. 15 minutes to go. Let's set her on a 15-minute chart so we get a proper countdown. In Trading View, over here, you know, it tells you when your candles close. 14 minutes and 2 seconds. So one thing you want to do in the morning is scan everything. I've already reset my modem for the internet coming to the house, reset every downstream hub as well. Everything that's powered gets a reset every morning. So everything gets unplugged. So what I do is I shut everything down and then I unplug. The last thing I do, or the first thing I boot back up, is the modem coming direct from the fiber optic. So we're up on the modem, and then everything toward the computers comes up in sequence. Last thing I do is couple the Alienware trading laptop to my cell phone AT&T, so it's on a redundant system. It's sitting over here off camera, right here. I'm touching it right there, and it's got a little light right there. And so anyway, that is what we use. I'm gonna cut off the Geiger counter. Tim and I call this the Geiger counter. I'm gonna shut him down for now. So anyway, that way you have some redundancy, and that redundancy will allow you to have a oh crap moment. You can get out of those trades, right? And so, and you want that. We've had some issues ourselves with massive slippage, or the market on news just goes parabolic. And I'm going to make some videos, some static videos, where I show you how on the back end, for instance, on Tradeovate, you could come in here and go to your settings, and you could come in here, and I've got I trade 5 accounts. Here's my 5 evals got going now. We're trading count of 2, try to get it to 53,000 this week. And you could come into your risk settings and you could adjust that. So, and then your prop firm also has your max soft and max daily loss. Some of those guys that kind of get you, they want you to blow these prop accounts. So on their end, they may have their accounts set to where that, you know, you could lose max during the day. But I go on their end and I set it to their soft parameters, and I usually use 50% of that. So if I got 3,000, I might set it to 2 on their end in case something happens bad on my end, they catch it, meaning slippage or my internet goes out or something. And I might go down to 1,000 on my end. You shouldn't be trading where you're down 1,000 drawdown. If you are, you're trading too big, or your setups are not working. If that's happening routinely, your setups aren't working. Now, I'm not talking about if you have enough drawdown capability where you're trading 10 contracts, but if you're trading 1, 2, even 3 NQs, and you're regularly hitting 1,000 drawdown, then you either need to trade less of those, go to micros, or, you know, reevaluate your setups and your strategy. So anyway, getting back to the setup. So, and I also continuously do this. This might be off camera. I got this screen adjusted. No, it's not. You can see the timestamp right there at the top. So 8:18, 49 seconds. It matches my PC. So we're good there. Over here, timestamp right here, 9:18. He's in the East Coast, so that's okay. So we're all synced there on time. Very important. Also, these little live buttons on what I call these human indicators. Every once in a while, you got to make sure you're live. If you ain't heard sound, if you're following a bookmark, you know, these basically, this is a heat map that Alex puts up. If you're not following a heat map, you should be. And if you are and you don't hear sound from them for a little bit, just hit the refresh button on your browser and just watch your timestamps. Very important that you video game this. There's a lot of stuff to watch when you're in these trades. We're only going to be in these trades for like 3 to 30 seconds. Okay, that's how I micro scalp. And speaking about that, people can say, "Oh, you can't do that. You got consistency rules." I don't use prop firms that have consistency rules. I buy the packages from whoever I'm using. No consistency rules related to time and trade. Okay, and so that's how I do it. And I prefer not to do any one that says, you know, if you have a $2,000 day, that can't be more than 30% of your total requirement. I don't like those either. I'll deal with those because you could just buy multiples, and if you hit a big, you know, and keep your days more consistent. But what if you have a runner? Sometimes you just get in one and it's going on news or something, and if you had your own money in there, you wouldn't be limiting it. So that's the goal, is to get an AMP account or your preferred broker account, right, and trade your own stuff. So anyway, dollar up, stocks will go down. I agree with that, Tim. That's correct. Yep. And that's a new thing to look at. I have a whole new human indicator. I got to watch Tim in the chat. What's going to happen when it's 500 people? It's going to be moderator city. Tim's going to have to text me on WhatsApp and say, "Look at the chat, dummy." And I don't have to look over there at the chat. And then I'll be over the chat and I'll be mad. "What did he say? Why didn't you kick him out, Tim?" He'll be like, "I didn't know you wanted that guy kicked out." Well, he's chastising my wife. Jesus Christ. All right, I probably can't say JC on air, so there's my first blunder. That's probably going to get me a YouTube strike. Let's see here. Anyway, I use human indicators, I like to call them. I derived these from spending months riding on the desk with lots of people. And there's lots of good traders out there, but some of them just don't fit my style. But I follow along with Matt. I follow along with Mike Swartz. We'll also throw, we'll go ahead and throw Pat on here. We'll use Pat. Is Pat live yet? He's over in Hawaii. I don't know if he's live yet. It might be a little, he might not be I don't know if he's going to be there today or not. We'll just leave him up and check back with him. Mike Schwartz, though, does a little different way. He uses that setup that uses those 9 pivots or 9 without a pivot, and it works pretty well, like a 60% success ratio when it's coupled with Bookmap. And so, and he uses our anchor chart mainly, and he has a good market spill. He's been trading a long time. Good guy. Of course, Matt Cowart over at Rocket Scooter. We also subscribe to Rocket Scooter, so we'll be watching 8 more minutes to market open, everybody. We'll be watching the Rocket Scooter platform, and when it comes in for our liquidity, some pivot points and things like that. Selling off right now. Selling off. See what we did in pre-market. 7 minutes, 30 seconds to market open. Well, we gapped up in pre-market nicely, above 23,000 there. Just kind of stayed in that range, 22.9 to 23,000, 100-point range overnight, over the weekend there. London's right in here. I got it all marked for you. See the London lot high and low. It's a little blue shaded section right in there. Sold off here, broke VWAP on the 15, still kind of selling. We're going to wait for it so we can watch our counter. 6 minute, 50 second to market open. Volatility is scaling today because the VIX is in the bucket. So volatility grows funds buying today. That's correct. Good insight. You're going to be a champ in the chat room for our company. Have to put Tim on the payroll. He has just moved up to 0. Moved up to 0. 1 month for 3 months. Yeah. Where is the VIX today? Right now, 17.71. Man. The pollen's up here a little bit today in the Emerald Coast of Florida. I don't want that. I already got the chat up, peeps. I don't need that so much. That's cool. That's okay. All right. Fast and furious. That's right, buddy. I can't wait, Tim. 5,100 racing friends. And I can think of dozens and dozens of friends that have contacted me like you did about trading. Some guys do crypto. Some guys are just trading their portfolios. They're all, but a lot of them are sitting at their desk and shit and can watch us in the morning and are interested in the Dragos of the world will be in here shooting the crap. A lot of them just want to be in here because I'm going to talk about racing. When we're trading, I'll talk about racing. We sit around hardly and do nothing. So I thought I'm going to have a bunch of stuff ready and about racing. So like I could easily have the Formula One clips up right now and say, come trade with me in the morning. I may only take 3 trades all day to make my nut, but we'll talk about racing. And I intend on doing that and other things too. I want to talk about how to make a living from home in here. That's the whole idea of Address Optional, is to make a living from home. For show. I also learned only this morning, Grote says you probably need to display your disclaimer. And I don't even know how. I don't know what you see on your end. So I've got to go on the laptop and log in myself, see what you see. But I did verbally do the disclaimer when I started it. And so it'd be on the recording. They say that's sufficient, but the lawyer part of AI says it'd also be good. Not only do I drop it whenever the recording finishes of the session, but I should probably have it when people come to the live stream, it's already there. And I think that's going to be in my OBS software. There's a big place for me to write the description where I just wrote a one-liner for today. I'll just drop it in there, I guess, and it should display it. Lots of little things and nuances to figure out, that's for sure. Fast and furious chat. All right, let's go through everything. Let's do a little listen. What's Matt talking about over there right now? He's not talking about anything. All right, let's mute him again. He's doing the same thing we are. We're scanning charts. What about Mikey? Got all these guys permission to. Want to let you know that.
So on Tradify, that 50% off is for the first account you ever.
A lot of these guys are selling their. He's not on yet. Patrick might be trying. Here we go. Pat is live. Here we go. He's got his stuff set up in the rental house. He's fishing for a month of the marlin stuff with him and Lando. It's just kidding. It's definitely an overnight chop session. That's right. I'm going to cut his chat off. I'm going to take him to theater. He's already on theater. That's a good point. See, that's why I have human indicators. I've not even looked at the news yet. And he's right. At 9, we got car production. We'll want to know what that is because we're car guys, so we'll follow that, Tim. We'll check that out. And let's see here. Nothing else. That's right. They've been under all low impact. So there's a 2 current count. Well, I don't think that's bond stuff. Won't affect us. We'll just peek in on car sales for the funsies. Look at that sell-off, though. Pretty clean, ashy sell-off from about 720. People getting ready for the open. Nothing drastic. Did sell off from 22,997 to 22, so 60-point sell-off. All right, I got the door closed. I just got the first dog scratch. This is Crumis. Everyone's going to know the schnauzer. There you go, buddy. That's the 13-year-old schnauzer. It requires several $100s a month for insulin and all of his meds. Well worth it. Greatest dad in the World Cup. Best Father's Day gift ever 20 years ago. He doesn't always have coffee. Can't talk about that, right? Not in the mornings. I'm just saying it doesn't always have coffee. Sometimes it has something, right, Tim? Sometimes it has something. All right. Looks like we got 1 minute and 24 seconds. Let's go ahead and switch over to the minute chart. And let's get some ding, ding, dings going. Make sure we're okay on the side computer. We are. Everything is up and going. We are ready to trade. Getting a little bit of pop here. Don't like it below the VWAP. I'm sure that the guys are going to take Rocket Scooter. They're probably going to take it. I did not plug in the overnight Rocket Scooter numbers just because I had so much going on coming off that holiday. And those, it does not going to matter to me because Rocket Scooter is going to populate. If you look right there at the top, this right here is going to populate with the resilience, the DD bands and all that when the market opens. And so sorry that that's off camera. I have to, because I'm using a 3440 screen. I can't get as much on there, but I'll pop it down when we want to see it. Oh, you can see it. I did go up with it. Well, I got that too big. I didn't want y'all to have to see all of my links. So we'll have to get that more refined, Tim. That's for sure. All right, so we'll get that in a second. Here we go. It's time to go. 10 seconds, market open, people. What you think you trading today there, Tim? All right, market is open. We're off to the races. Let's get our sound back going. She ripped a little bit. We got a nice rip candle. Let's take a peek at that volume. Look at that. 12,000, 11,000. I'll explain these as the session goes on this morning. 12,000, 11,000. Still kind of equal. See which one's going to give up first. Still advancing, 11 to 9. Tug of war is all green, so we're going up first. Going up right now. Let's check out Tesla over here. TSLL down 13%. TSLL. And look at that. 315 close, 294 this morning. Thank you, Elon. Thank you, Elon. And old man. All right. Here we go. Here come the sellers. Look at that volume. 19,000. That's as big as we've seen it in a while, Tim. 19,000. Whoa. This is why I don't trade these opens when I don't feel it and it's not just a clear setup. Look at that range, 940, 976. So obviously, unless you're just doing one micro MNQ with a $500 stop loss, you would have been whipsawed. You couldn't even done the range, if you'd have put your orders outside this range here coming into the open. You could have made a pop there if you'd had a 5-point on your long side, maybe with an automatic orders in there, you'd been okay, but not for me. This gray box right here, and it looks like it may not show on the stream, you guys, but on my screen, I can see a gray box automatically. It's automatically establishing the opening range to do an opening range breakout trade here in about 15 minutes. We will take them. We're going to wait until we get some more steady, more concise market feel. And then we're going to play these flat bottom and flat top breakouts. And we're going to be using the book map, heat map, sound indicator to let us know when we have momentum going one way or the other. And what we're going to do is scan this little indicator right here and make sure that we have either advancing or declining that exceeds 2 to 1. So like, let's say this would be 8 million and this would be 6. And then as soon as that is all confirmed and our setup is confirmed, meaning it's not an anomaly, we've got the correct confluences, then we're going to jump in for just a few seconds with about 4 contracts. Make sure I got that set up. It's still set on my afternoon lot. So we're going to go with 4 contracts today. Here we got buy the bid, sell the ask, and so we're ready to go. 3 minutes in, get a 5-minute candle going here in just 1 second. CRCL today. Okay, that's cool. CRCL. All right, breaking down below the 1-minute range. It doesn't matter. See what this, if our linear regression channel. See if we can establish that. We've been orderly in it throughout the last little bit of the overnight session. So let's just see if she holds up. Getting some NQs, getting some selling here. Look at this. This would be a great short. It's just inside that 5-minute window. I don't want to take it. So people are making money right now. That's for sure. People are making money right now. Absolutely. Look at that. That was been a great. Now, see, this is when you get what's called FOMO. I'm literally having a FOMO moment. I probably should have taken that at the break of the VWAP. And this yellow line's a VWAP. I probably should have taken that for a quick scalp. And but I'm still scared of it. Still scared of it. That's a great way to go right there, guys. We got our moving averages. It really moved so fast it even broke moving averages. They haven't even crossed over everything yet. But that break of the VWAP on that next candle, 1 minute, would have been a great entry for a quick scalp there. That would have been a good place for it. I don't want to just give money to the market. I want to take it. But that was been a good run. Let's see if we fill that gap. We should, and get any kind of downward continuation. All right, now we're into that 5-minute candle. Let's see what she looks like. Look at that opening range. So basically on a 5-minute perspective, basically, it's rare that Alex gets in there. That was him. We're basically now in the middle of the 5-minute candle. There's your 5-minute opening candle. We're right in the middle. We're on top of all of my indicators. The colored indicators, the green, red, blue is our 5, 10, and 21 period moving average. Thicker yellow line is your VWAP, and I got it set to session. And so we're just below the VWAP. We're below all moving averages. We're at the bottom of the linear regression. And so let's just sit here and wait. You know what I mean? Let's just sit here and wait. I can right click and hold this, to give me these numbers. It'll give me the numbers I want, the high of this candle, basically. And there you are. There's a VWAP. There's your ribbons. It's basically what's displaying over here. Tim, I didn't know if you knew you could do that, but what's being displayed over here, if you just get in the field somewhere and hold your left mouse button, it'll give you a quick pop-up of all your indicators and what they're saying. Your open, high, low, close, your previous candle. There's your range. Well, your current candle. All right. Nothing looks clean right now. Ashes all over the place. Looks like a bucket of rusty bolts. Looks like we basically got 2 flat tires and the other 2 are going down. That big 5-minute first opening candle is kind of scary. We need to get some tighter action here, you guys. This big wicks like this, you know, you got to get some tighter action, for you guys that want to hold a little longer and get a few candles play. That's very scary for you, and it's why I micro scalp. You'll see what I mean when I enter a trade later. Why I'm micro scalp. So right now we got a quiet time on the Geiger counter, what we call it, right? On your heat map, the alarm part of the heat map, it's quiet. So we're going to go back to a 1-minute chart, and now it's after 5 minutes. It's still within the 15 minutes. So be real careful. But I'm going to go back to the 1-minute chart, and I am going to hunt some trades. We look like we got a 3-candle reversal, a break of that top. But we need to hear. We need to hear. Here come some buyers. And they are outpacing it, but it's not enough to create any alarms yet. It's not with conviction, because the alarms are set that there's waiting orders above that will help it with momentum. So you can't just look at this Ninja Trader advancers and decliners. It's just another indicator. It's not tied to Bookmap. Alex does this separately. I believe it's Ninja Trader that this comes from. And his timing and sales doesn't come from Bookmaps. These are different indicators. I think that's right. But at any rate, if these are showing advancing and decline disparities, but you're not hearing the sound, then that's another indicator that it's not time to do a micro scalp, for me anyway. That's me. That's my opinion. People making money right now, they would have bought the break of these 3 candles. People would have scalped right there, and that's okay. Let's see if we can get a momentum above the VWAP with some conviction. And that conviction meaning with some of this, you know, something in here, some of this liquidity being grabbed that will help us pull on up there. Here's your tug of war, kind of even, not a lot of orders, not a lot of anything weird sitting out there, nothing in the back book, everything is just what we want right now. This is, the longer it stays like this, the more force it's going to have one way or the other when it gets moved, and that's when we get in and take a little bit of money. Right in the middle of that channel. Let's go ahead and show it to you. Zoom in a little bit. Here we go. Coming through 44 on our RSI. RSI set to traditional. 30 on the low, 70 on the top. Just another indicator. Let's take a look at Rocket Scooter. DD at 90. Okay, so that means 90% of the S&P is up today, is in the green. Resilience is very low. Resilience for S&P just went negative. NASDAQ resilience is negative, so that's bad. And even the Russell's negative. So it's been many, many days since I've seen all 3 negative. So that's resilience. That's how strong strong those individual stocks that make up those indices are today. So they're a little weak. These are under pressure. Under pressure. Let's put it that way. You have to go do Matt's classes to explain it. I'm not here to explain his course. But that's what it means. We're going to be looking for shorts today. All right, let's see here. Can we get a pullback? I did not go for it because it neutralized instantly and the sound went away before I got to it. So that one might have been one that I'd have lost on. And it would have been a loss if I'd have shorted it, because look, we had a large push candle and it's being responded to. Let's see if VWAP is going to be the resistance. Now on this Trade of 8 chart, I have a 14-period moving average just to mix it up, because I got different moving averages over here on Trading View. We're using 2 different platforms. We use a Trading View for charting. You can trade here. I could be trading this one account here today, actually. But when you're going to trade multiple accounts, you have to use the group feature, and the group features would allow you to add all of your accounts in, and then you could trade 5 at once. And we will be doing that. But this is my first live stream. I mean, I got so many complexities going on. I did not want to do that. So just Chop City right now, you guys. Really nothing for me to do. It's just Chop City. Nothing going on. You can see Pat's using the same opening range. He's using the Lux Algo opening range indicator, and I'm using the same one, but mine is a modified Lux Algo. Mine's modified just for some tweaks to make it faster. But it's out there. I didn't make any of these. These are readily available on TradingView. You can look right there and go out there and get all these yourself. And I've tried all of them, tried all the indicators. These indicators don't make you money. You have to learn how to trade and how everything works, and then you have to execute in and out. None of these indicators is, oh, I got a magic indicator. It says buy, I buy. It says sell, I sell. It doesn't work that way. It not at all work that way. You need to have like 5 good indicators that you know how to. You got to memorize lightning fast. Like a fighter pilot doesn't think which way to move the stick and how to pull the trigger, right? That's how you got to be. And it has to be the ones that you can do that with. Some of them are so complex you can't see it. It's like if you're a checkers player, play checkers. If you're a backgammon player, play backgammon. Poker, play poker. Chess, play chess. Can't try to do all of it. Wow, until the control finds a strike. Yeah, let me know what you're doing over there, Tim. Let me know what you're doing, buddy, in the chat. Let's see. Anything goes. Refresh the news. Nothing. Wow, ex-Russian minister kills himself. Excuse me, I can't say that, I guess, anymore. He unalives himself. Got to say unalives. That probably will be a strike if they actually listen to this one person following live broadcast. No trades yet. Have not taken any trades. So this timestamp will be a no trades thus far. 43 after the hour. So not even 15 minutes in yet. Let's see if we can finish up a 15-minute candle here in a second. Give us our actual range. I don't think we're going to make any big moves here that would negate this range here. So 975 to 900. So we got a 75-point 15-minute range here. That gives us enough points to play within it on some momentum runs. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we can't just pull a 2 or 3 $200 to $250 trades out of it and then call it a day. The only thing that makes you make more money on my strategy is you just bet more. And that's what we call it. It's called betting. And betting, and we go. Some buyers. Let's see if they want to take out the VWAP, Tim. See if we're going to take out the VWAP. Looks like a head and shoulders. Could be both. Yeah, there's a shoulder, a head, another shoulder. Well, this part would be a little weak. It's sloppy, isn't it? Let's see what the VWAP wants to do. We got 1, 2. This would be a third kind of a tap, a little bit of an overshoot. Top of the regression, top of that linear regression channel. Look up what that means. You could type all this stuff into your favorite AI. I use Perplexity and Grok. Use Grok the most. Might switch away from that. Elon's made me so angry. He's whipsawing our money. He's made me $5,000 this year. And then this little trade we just did recently, we should have took money. There it is. All right, when you see the New York pop in, that's it. So the opening 15-minute range has been established. We're directly in the middle. So there's really nothing to do right now. What we want to do is look for shorts. Now, I don't mind taking a short if we break below the moving averages because we are below the VWAP. So, but this is kind of a weird place, everybody. We're just at the top of the regression, which means it's going to go down. We're in the middle of all the moving averages, which means it could go any way. It's just indecisive, right in the middle of the RSI. So you just can't trust anything here because in a 1-minute candle, we're only going to try to be in for 10 or 15 seconds, mind you, but still in a 5-second span, given the latency, getting in the trade, out of the trade, you got to have a little bit of momentum. It needs to go in a direction for about 30 seconds for you to capture 10 seconds of it. I'm liking what I'm seeing right here. All right, let's go ahead and take a little trade.
Order filled.
We're in the trade here. Let's see if we get any more momentum. If it goes against us, we've got to get back out here. All right, I'm out. I'm out, folks, a $300 loser because we lost momentum. We neutralized, and the buyers came right back in. I was probably a little late on the sound, so now we're working from a deficit. Here it is, live trading. I traded 4 contracts, a $300 loser. That's just the way it is. Now we shake that off. We'll go right back to the charts. I like that breakdown. Let's see. I should have taken it off the VWAP. I called it. That spike there above kind of worried me. That overshoot that I called right here, little slight overshoot right there. But below that VWAP, look at this. The TraderVate VWAP is showing. I wonder why the VWAP on the 2 charts are different here, Tim. Look how far the VWAP was from this candle. Well, let's just get back in a second. We'll find one. We'll just go from there. Gonna dig back out. Volume's back low. Let's wait for let's get a good volume spike here in a second. Now I'm perplexed why these 2 VWAPs are not the same. I got the exact same VWAP, anchored VWAP. Yep, that's correct. That is correct. And this one, they're all exactly the way they're supposed to be. On the session, that's the same. Well, we'll just keep that in mind as we trade, because had I saw that over here, I would have definitely taken that rejection. And because that was coinciding with the most sound, meaning the most liquidity, the most selling action on the heat map. And that would have been a nice little trade. I got in a little late. I got in actually on the second candle. And so let's see if we just pull a little bit of a retracement to fill that gap. See that little gap right there, the bottom of this one to the top of this one? And let's see what happens. Buying coming in now. Let's see if we can't get a little bit of 3 candle. A little choppy in here. Gave a little bit of money back right there, but that's okay. We're not staying in for a long time. This is why. You see what I mean? There was no continuation on this. In the middle, a lot of people will watch this and do different kind of trading and say, he's gambling, but I'm not. And you'll see over time, it really works. If you got to, you just have to be consistent. Oh, look at this push candle. No FOMO. FOMO, fear of missing out. You can't FOMO. We don't have the signals just yet. Here comes the signals. Let's just wait. It's done this to us before. Closing above. This is a different push. Let's see here. Not yet. Let's watch that 15-minute opening range. There's your low. There's your high. Hit that VWAP. It sure did. That VWAP. What's weird is on TradingView, it's the VWAP is right here, but on TraderVate, it's above the VWAP. I'm going to have to figure that out after this session. What is the difference between these 2 platforms? Because this is discerning. This is scary because a lot of people will be looking for the long here, and people here would be waiting. So that's why you have to have multiple indicators, multiple indicators. Above hedge pressure. Way above hedge pressure. Heading to the half gap on the rocket scooter. Let's just see what we got. Not enough, not a 2-to-1. It's just 3-to-2. Just not less than $1 million difference. Nothing to be done right now. That right there was a late time. Don't let that trick fool you guys or into not thinking that it would have worked. The break of that VWAP and the sound, meaning the sound just means if you was looking at what you might equate to volume, but you could hear it, was that it was selling. That would have been a nice little trade if I wasn't late. But it wasn't late in getting out. That's how you minimize your risk. All right, this is looking like it wants to go, but I'm really worried about these 2 different VWAPs. Really worried about it. Oh, well, let's just go back to volume here in a second. We're also... All right, let's take a stab at it. All right, just took $150 out of it because we're micro-scalping. We got our loss on the day down to 160 in real time. We'll find another one in a second. Now, normally I stay into trades until the sound goes away, which would be the same thing as watching your visuals. But because we had a loss, I just want to grind it back out, get back to zero, and then do some longer trades. Still could be in this trade, y'all, working just like a champ. So if you're trying to learn how you do this on your paper trading, I'm not giving advice and telling you what to do, but you can see how that works. Yeah, the break of that VWAP was a good play. Now let's see if we can't get a pullback and a test of the VWAP, or is this going to be a sloppy head and shoulders and a breakdown? Who knows? I don't always care about those old school candlestick patterns. I care about volume. That's why this works. Here we go. We might be getting a breakout of the daily range here. Let's just see. Let's just see. I'm not going to act impulsively yet, but we are getting some. Here comes a little pullback. Comes a pullback. That was a nice push. We got a little bit of money out of it. Really kicking myself. I got late on that short. Got a little late on that short. I missed this whole short, but that was before the 15 minutes. I try to stay away from those, but had a couple of the orderly push candles, impulse candles, they call them, I guess. 160 in the negative on the day. Now we wait. That's all you can do. Let's do a real quick scan and make sure everything's on time. 9:52, 9:52. Not worried about them, not worried about them. They all say live, 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 live. Trade of 8:53, 8:53, 8:53. So everything is all synced up, looking good. Look at that nice push to half gap. So broke VWAP on your rocket scooter. I had the VWAP on rocket scooter. They don't use it, but if you're below half gap, you have to look up on the rocket scooter's website what all this means. If you break, I have found a break of VWAP and you're under half gap, it will fill to that half gap. So it's just another indicator that I'm now in a range to take longs, micro scalping. So any little pullback, you get some volume spike on your sound, right? You're going to go long, so long as your advancers is the direction it's going. So we'll wait for a pullback, and then we will maybe we'll pull back to VWAP, and then if we make a little U-turn, make a little V, and then we get some volume coming in on your heat map, and not just volume in the numbers of advancer and decliners. It has to be with the noise, with the sound, because the drum sound indicates where the liquidity, that there's liquidity above, so it's going to have momentum. It's not just trickling in orders. And so you can watch 1,000 videos on how this works, but that's how I use it. And you could buy a subscription to this yourself and set it up any way that you want it. I sort of like the way he has it. I would do the colors a little bit different because you could change the brightness and the contrast to make it where you only see where there's a bunch of orders sitting there. But when you hear it, you know that's what it means. There's a bunch of orders there, and people are going to be buying when it gets to that level. So short covering, just orders sitting there. As day traders, we could care less why that's happening, right? We don't care why it's happening. Bassett says we'll have several trade deals in the next 48 hours. So we're going to replace this. We're going to replace this, or equally this, Tim, with racing news. We should be going over the Formula One race from last weekend. It was spectacular. Awesome Formula One race. All right, back to trading. Only done 6 contracts today. 6 trades, I mean. And we are down 160. We're going to trade that to 5. We're going to trade 5 until we get in the money on our first stream. A lot of guys, you see them and they never lose money. I don't know how they stream and never lose money. It doesn't work that way. So if you're following someone, then that's some trickery. I can't say it on the camera, but there's some trickery. Let's get back to trading. We might have a little. All right, the VWAP might be holding here. Certainly, the opening range is held. Look, that we not exceeded that opening range from, which is basically established in the first 1 minute candle. So the New York opening range high is what that stands for. New York ORH, opening range high. If it breaks the opening range high, she usually would take off. I'm anticipating that since we're on top of VWAP. And that's why I went ahead and went 5 NQs. And we're going to see if we can't get a runner. That was a nice run that we could have probably stayed in longer. And I'm saying that some people would trade it that way. They would have, might have done a reversal with just a smaller amount after it broke through some moving averages, added a contract, broke through the VWAP, added a contract. And then at the first break of structure, BOS, break of structure, had their stop in there and manually got out. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. It's just not how I like to do it. My nerves don't allow it. I'm a qualifier when it comes to trading. I'm not an endurance driver, okay? For you guys who race, you understand what that is. I'm a qualifier, not an endurance driver. Now in real racing, I can do both, but in trading, I'm a qualifier. Especially when you look over at your ASCII, look at these nasty looking ASCII on 1 minute. Excuse me. Yeah, on 1 2 minute, 3 minute, it's nasty. No conviction whatsoever. Shouldn't be trading if I follow my normal rules, but in the first stream, I'm going to trade some. You got no conviction over here. How about 45 seconds? 45 seconds ain't that bad. But still, you know, when it's selling, you don't want any top tails. You want 3 candles, at least 3 on a 45 with no top tails before you even go in. And so I don't know. This is real choppy here. And we got no volume, no sound. Look at that. Well below 1.5 million shares each way, or contracts each way. So just nothing going on right there. Nothing going on. Here comes some buyers, but very little. We got a little 3 candle break. VWAP held. Let's see here. All right, we're going to hone in. I can't scan as much because we may have a little bit of momentum coming. I like this setup. Now what I need to do is hear volume going in the up direction. And then we'll be looking to take out the high of day. Remember, the high day now back on this chart is the opening range high as well. So I don't have to keep looking at the trading view. I know visually that this peak right here and these 2 peaks, I could draw a line, I guess. I recommend you guys draw lines when you first start, because you can't really, it's part of the video game, but you'll get to where you can see these things. I know that that's my opening range, okay? And if we get above that, it usually would take off. You got people like Pat Whelan right now. Pat's over here just waiting. See, he's already got his line drawn. He's waiting for it to break that upper range. Look, he made a little scalp earlier in all of his accounts. A few $100 in 5 accounts. So he's doing fine. Well, let's see. So we didn't do it yet. No momentum. So a lot of people would have, that's a break of structure for your down. They would have went in right here and put their stop loss right there. That's traditional type trading. I get it. Doesn't work for me because look what's happening right now. It's going to come back and get their stop. Because everyone on the other side knows all the same plays, y'all. You know, the market makers know the same plays. If you buy into that, I happen to buy into that. I happen to buy into people have big lots they can move in and out, and depending on where they need liquidity to be. And so you have to be thinking about that all the time. And there you go. You just got stopped out. Break a structure. You put a couple contracts on long. You put your stop below, right below the VWAP, below this tail. Everybody else knows it. Let's see what's going on here. I'm tempted to take a long here. I mean, it's short, excuse me. It's only 1 million deficit. Let's just do it real quick. We're going to ride it out just for a second. Break of the VWAP. I didn't take it before, so I'm taking it this time. Might come back to bite me. You'll get that. The sound went away. I'm out. All right, so that's not turning out to be a good day. This is my biggest loss day now in 2 weeks, $885. Both of them on shorts. So let's see if that just got whipped there. I'm ready to do it again, though. Ready to do it again. Let's see what's going on. Equal on everything right now. Let's just wait. Look at that spike that got me, Tim. Look at that spike that got me. All right, we're going to try it again. Let's just see how it happens. We're going to ride it this time. All right, there was a $500 one, back to 290 loss. That's how easy it is. We're going to wait. Sound is petering out. So what you want to do is make sure that when the sellers and buyers come back in this method, that you're watching it. And again, if this is too big of numbers, you could trade one or two, or you could trade some micros. That's fine. Generally speaking, 3 or 4 trades a day, a couple of $100 a trade, 5 trades. I might have to make 6 trades today to make money because of the way it's working out. We're going to do it again. I'm going to take another little loss because we're losing momentum, and I didn't need to. Look at this. Let's do it again. Did not get a fill. We're going to cancel our orders. Yeah, so we had a lot of slippage there, everybody. That's what I mean about the video gaming aspect. Look at that. I got out way early, Tim. Way early. Now we're just going to no FOMO. Boy, that would have been an awesome trade right there. Do you guys see what happened? This little wick of a tail here scared me. I'm watching my loss. I don't try not to go more than 300 in a loss, so I hit my button. And look what happened right after that. So it went the direction of the momentum. But now let's see if we can get some buyers back in here. We get a reversal. We'll just get us a reversal. And then we'll be patient and we'll wait and we'll get another one. See, Chad, about volatility. Yeah, I do. It's volatile, that's for sure. Yeah, buying these. Hit the VWAPs. That's right. All right, now let's get us a reversal. We're going to wait for the momentum. You could be on the wrong side of those occasionally. Call back a little bit right there. That's the only ones you want right there. You know, just a $200 here, $200 there. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Now we got to wait for some volume and momentum. You want to be grabbing hold of that trolley going the right way, and you can't be late. Can't be late. Late twice today. Going to cost me a little bit probably. Just 9:04, so 34 minutes into the session. 34 minutes into the session. Let's check over here. What's going on in the overall market? Tesla, 292. Oh, my goodness. 315 closed last week, 292. He's ruining that company, Tim. Let's see. I could be in a long here. See what the VWAP's going to do. Don't want to be drifting around here. Don't want to be drifting around here. You want to wait for momentum. It's very important that you have momentum and you're just jumping on the train with the people. You cannot sit here and get nervous, get frustrated. You know that you got a whole day, you know, all the way till lunch. We don't trade after about 10 or 10:30 Central. It's about 11:15 Eastern time. People start going to lunch up there and the volume gets kind of weird. You can sit here and watch it, and occasionally you see something, but I usually just get up and walk things off, things like that. Very, very choppy. Most people are not touching this. I'm sure a lot of people just did this, thought that was going to be the breakout and went long here. Just basically we're right in the middle of the opening range. So it's chop, but it's still just opening range stuff, just straight sideways. Straight sideways. Some good impulse candles, though, like in a normal day, this one and this one probably would have stopped me. So I'd have made 250 or 300 here, 250 or 300 here, and I should have took the break of the VWAP there. So that might have been a 369, a couple $100 loser. This has been like a $500 loser. Just all the bells and whistles, pushing today, managing this stream first day. Was a little late on both of those, but I called them. You guys seen me call them. Would have easily worked. I called them in real time. It's not like I'm going back saying, had I bought right there and sold there like you see some people do. I called it in real time saying, man, I missed that. I should have been in it. Still don't have clean ashy on 45s. Look, bottom and top tail. So just a lot of chop. A lot of chop over here. Hey, Kiki. We're learning about the system, but we're down $640. You know how it goes, Terry. How's it go? First your money, second your clothes. That's exactly right. Let's see if we can't get a MACD turn. We are getting a little bit of turn. MACD coming back our way. Let's see if we can't get some momentum going that way. Right now, we're coming up against a 14 and a VWAP on Trade of 8, well below the VWAP, more than 10 points in Trading View. That kind of put me for a loop, and the ashies are not clean, whipping all around on a 1 minute. What are you barking about?
He's on it.
What's he barking about?
He's been fed on fully.
That's our deaf, diabetic, pancreatitis, 13-year-old schnauzer. Hardly ever barks at us. He just decided to bark out of the blue. He's already eaten, had his shot.
Yeah.
Everything's done. He's eaten. He's had his shot. Now, for this stream, guys, today, you know, Tim, you wasn't here. I'd said it, or you weren't here, and I probably said that, but I'm trading just one of the 5 accounts. Just trading one. And I said in the beginning, I was going to trade more than my 2. I went to 4. Now I've gone to 5 just to make it interesting. But you could trade 2 and scale out of 1, and I'll probably go back to that. It's, you know, for tomorrow and on. But today we'll just get back up to 0. Maybe get up to a couple of hundred winner if we can. But not FOMO. We're not going on tilt. You got to trade a long time. Up 278 on CRCL. Good job, Tim. Good job. CRCL. We're going to take a beat. Now, don't even tell me in the chat. We'll figure it out after. But I'm selling those options. I'm not going to. I'm just so mad at him. I'm just going to take my lump and just put it right on something else immediately, and make it right back. For y'all that are going to be watching recording, because there's only 2 of us in here. Recording, maybe I'll get some. He wants. Did you give him cheese after a piece of cheese? You have to pet him, babe.
More than he should.
Oh, well, don't give him. He only gets like 1 or 2 pieces. That might be the whole thing on the side there. 10:08. All right, so just notice that my heat map is a little behind, so I'm going about like 30 seconds. I'm going to refresh it, turn off their chat, and yeah, now we're exactly time. So it got about 30 seconds off. So that's on the internet. Let me do everybody. I haven't done much with Mike today. Really don't use them to listen to him anymore. Got my system refined, but I'll go to him when he gets real bored, see what kind of day they're having. Sometimes it makes you feel good if you've lost a little bit, or if everybody's kind of flat, like Matt looks like he's not made any money, and nor has Pat, or he'd be done by now. So let's just see. We got this flat bottom, flat top building, which is a play that we really like. So we're going to be watching this, basically waiting for momentum here. Just waiting for momentum. I got to get all these notifications to stop coming from YouTube. I literally have notifications turned off. Look at this. It's off for everything except for people that are wanting to get to me, but I'm still getting notifications for everyone. So I'm going to have to figure that out. No volume, under 1.5 million. So you just sit here. You can't worry about your daily loss. This was up to 855. I got it down to 290 and then took another loss right here on that reversal candle because a little FOMO there. I chased it somewhere in here, and that's okay. I didn't chase it much, but I did chase it somewhere. Turned around on me. Not going to do that anymore, but we're forming a really fun setup. And that's a flat top, flat bottom breakout. And those work good when you're range bound. Look at us. We're dead middle of the regression. We're dead middle of the opening 15-minute range candle. So if we get momentum either way, it's got to be significant momentum. then we can make our run to the bottom or top of the regression line, which look is almost equal. It's not a breakout yet. Not a breakout yet. See what I mean? That was a fake you. Some people would have took that right there, y'all. Right when it broke this little line right there, some people would have taken that and they would have been trapped because it immediately came back. And that's when you know you got to worry about your volatility. You got to have the momentum and you got to be able to see your orders. Or is there anybody down there selling? Are there more sellers below? Like you do have some down here at 22,915, 18 contracts, 25 contracts at 915, but you know, you got to, it's got to get down there. And it didn't. Look, we're putting in a green bubble. So we're just range bounding now. That's why I listen. I look at the advancer and decliners. I go to Trade-Evate. I make a decision. And I'm constantly looking at these bear flags and bull flags. Bear flags and bull flags work. This looks like it might be a bull flag developing. I would like this candle to have been closed more down here, but you know, it's got that pattern. I'll take 5 right there. Went away on us. I got out. All right, so that was our max soft daily loss that I put in place. This account has a $3,000 loss max, and then it has a soft loss of 2, I guess. I have a soft loss of 1,000. So there's 1,000 loss on this account, soft loss. You can see it right there, 49,123. So that means it's a $50,000 account. So that means I had a little money on that account. It was my lowest account. So there it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the to the trading view. We can't trade. I won't trade this account again until tomorrow. That's a self-imposed rule that you set, as I showed you guys earlier, over here in your back end, your risk settings for your Trade-Evate. And it just keeps you from blowing your eval accounts. Now, I'm not on tilt or anything. It just didn't go my way today. And have to dig out on that one account tomorrow. But the reason you do that, what if you were trading all 5 accounts at one time, which that's where you want to get yourself to be. So what we'll do is close Trade-Evate. We'll only trade over here, the exact same system, and we'll pull up the trading panel. And then I like to go up over here because it's paper money, and we'll go double. So we'll trade 10 contracts. And we'll look for the same exact setups. All right, same exact setups. We'll watch Ashi. And look, y'all, I called it. If you when it's this choppy, look at those tails on the Hakanashi. Look at those tails. It's crazy. So there's nothing really to go with right here. Only momentum and short burst. Look at that chop. Chop. That's why the Ashi candles have no tails. See here. Let's see. Can't jump right over here and get in it. That would be FOMO. It's going my direction. So what happened, literally, if I'd had 2 contracts instead of 5, that little tail wouldn't have hit my max daily. Or if I wouldn't have had one of the previous losses that put me up there with I didn't even think about that, where I only had $300 more. I should have scaled back. There's the lesson right there, Tim. I should have scaled back until I made more of the buffer up to that $1,000, because what happened at a 690 loser, I only had $310. Here she goes, though. She went the right direction. The breakout of that flat bottom was a great play, but look at that tail. Got me right there. And that's because I had too much risk. I had too many contracts. With 2 contracts, this would not have gotten me. With 2 contracts, that would have been fine. Would not have gotten me at all, and we would have just still been mowing it down. Yeah, it was a pretty good one. And look, she's still going all the way to the bottom. I called it. If this flat bottom breakout, and we hope to get to the bottom of the regression, and there it goes. Went right where we said. So there's a lesson for me, is I should have noticed that in real time. I should have went up to the top, changed it from 5 contracts to 2 to more represent how much drawdown I had. I rarely go that much drawdown in a session. So it's been a while since I've been more than a few $100 loser in any trades. And so there is the lesson for me and everybody, is that was still a great trade, flat bottom breakout, but because my drawdown, now if you was in your real money and you had enough money account, this wouldn't matter at all. But when you having to do with your prop account rules, and then my self-imposed rules at $1,000, that protects my prop account. So if you got a $3,000 max drawdown on a prop account, and then in your trade platform, TradeOvate in this case, you set yourself to 1,000 max drawdown a day, and then you make sure you don't go in there and reset that. I see people do that, and I think it's excellent. I didn't invent that. I've seen people on the internet say that. Then you give yourself 3 days to trade in that account if you keep blowing up, and it keeps you from going on tilt. And so you won't blow up 5 accounts when you start trading multiple accounts. You know, TradeOvate allows you to group trade up to 10 accounts. And so if you did 10 accounts and you had no self-imposed stops in there, you could blow all 10 of your $200 accounts in one day. And you would do it because you go on tilt. Now that's a nice break of structure BOS move there, but there's no momentum. No momentum. 9:17, so 10:17 New York time. No momentum, very low volume. So got to stick to your rules. I only trade when. Now I don't mind it being a million shares, a million contracts on one side if it's 3 or 4 million on the other side. But it has to have a big disparity. And then in addition, you got to hear the sound, which means the direction it's going. It has momentum. It has liquidity above. Liquidity above. Liquidity above. Like the rocket scooter. Like rocket scooter guys are probably sitting on their hands, because I know that there's no today. You can look over here. They have no short setups loaded up. So they will not be trying to do anything short, and that's fine. That's just their rules for probability, and they're probably right. Now they're looking to make a lot of points on lower contract amounts too, and so that's the way it works. Over here on the 1 minutes, we do have 3 candles with no bottom wicks, so maybe we're going to get some kind of clean run here. We'll see. The VWAP's very powerful, you guys. Very, very powerful. We have a lot of power right here. Let me tell you. The high of the day is the top of this gray box. That's very powerful. Look, we have not gone above it all day. Very, very powerful. A lot of liquidity, a lot of resistance here, right? And look at these bottom tails at the bottom. That's been resistance, right? So, I mean, support. So, it hasn't gone below it. So you got your sellers, you got your buyers. So you got to respect that. So you got to just think you're going to be trading your 1 minutes within that. Then to be even stronger, you zoom into your regression box, your linear regression, right? The channel. We're right dead middle of that. So there's nothing that could be done here, especially if you got no volume that's dominant one way or the other. Even if it's dominant one way or the other, you don't know how long that's going to live. The worst thing that could happen is you have a small spike, 2 million more than here, and you jump in, but it goes away. The moment you hit the button, by the time your order fills, it's already gone. And that happened to me today as well. I was late twice today if we go back and look at it, and I will. I always watch my video. It's weird to me as an ex-professional race car driver, when I coach kids racing or when I trade, that people don't go back and watch the film. You gotta look at your data. If you're racing cars, you gotta watch your in-car camera, see how you performed. I put cameras on my feet to make sure my footwork is that I can't make improvements. Why? If you go back and look at your entries, just at least look at your entry time and what the market condition was versus your setup. You don't need to know what Microsoft's selling price in PE was at the time you entered a futures trade. I'm not talking about that kind of weirdo stuff. I'm talking about your setups versus what you actually did. And also you'll find sometimes that you might have lost money or made money. I found times where I made money and I wasn't supposed to. It wasn't supposed to make money. And I found times that I lost money, and I think I'm gonna see that today, or that I was a little late. It was working the buttons. It was a video game aspect. So definitely got a little bull flag going on. You guys should have one of these mats over here, like a desk mat that has all of the flags and things on it. Yeah, it was a big wick there. Got me, Tim. Sure got me. But let's see here. Still get some trades in. Going to be trading about another 39 minutes. About another 39 minutes. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock New York time. See what we can do. We're over here. Started out fresh. I did a little pre-market just when I was testing the system. I did a pre-market trade of a $40 winner. And so, but I reset that for Monday. What we'll do is if we hit our money in our normal, making money accounts, when we hit our profit target, $500-600, we will go to paper trading if we have not run out of time. Or if we had our max daily loss of 1,000, then we'll go to paper trading until we finish out the stream. Now, remember the reason you do 4 or 5 prop accounts is because you might blow 2 of them up and have to restart them and blow 3 of them up. So you want to try to get 2 or 3 to pay out. And so you could do a payout, for instance, let's say you try to get just $1,500. You got 5 accounts that you can draw out $1,500. And that's the minimum. Like Tradeify, you could take 50. When I use, you can take $1,500 is the minimum you can take out. If you make 5,000, you can take out 5,000. You do that every 10 days. But let's say you just getting going and you're only able to eke out $1,500, and every 10 days, you've accumulated $1,501 above your buffer in your Tradeifys, and you got 5 of those. That's theoretically every 10 days you can pull out $1,500 times 5. Now there's guys that do 10,000 times 10 accounts. If you watch Alpine trade, he does 20 accounts and regularly does $7,000 to $15,000 times 20 accounts times that, and does that every 10 days. So 3 times a month. That's how those guys are driving Maseratis and Ferraris and Porsches, right? But it's the same trade. What you're seeing me do, it's exact same trade. 2 to 4 futures contracts, right? On 20 prop accounts, funded prop accounts. And then getting past your buffer. So see, buffer's 1,500. And then you can only pull money out when you've accumulated 1,500, and you can pull out the 1,500. Now you pull out whatever you accumulate. It's got to be 1,500 minimum. And that doesn't mean you lose that money. The way it works is you trade until you get your buffer. Let's say it's 1,500. And then you can pull out in 1,500 increments above that. So that, yes, that means 3,000. But all it really means is your original drawdown plus 1,500. So that's just like you draw down to me. Then every dollar over that is your money, but you don't get to pull it out except in $1,500 increments. Don't like the being at the VWAP. See how that's spiky today? That's so spiky today. Look at that spike right there. And it came with sound, but I'm not going to be burned again. And just because you traded your paper account, don't get off your rules. The only thing I'm doing different trading paper account is I just went up on lots just to make the numbers more fun. But I'm not changing any rules. You want to be in the same habits, because the habits is what gives you your 7 to 3 ratio. 7 wins, 3 losses equal 300, 300. I had 3 losers around $300, and that hit me my soft daily limit of $1,000. All right. Just drifting up here, we have been able to drift above all moving averages. So the 5 is the green, the red is 10, and the blue is 21. VWAP is acting as a little resistance. Let's see if we can get there. And then we got the daily high, the top of this gray box. Hope you can see it, but it's right there where I got my cursor. That's the New York opening range high, which is established by the first 15-minute candle. We've been to it at the open. We touched it again at about 8:52. That's 9:52 Eastern. And right now we're just right in the middle of that range, just above the middle of that range. And we're flirting with the VWAP. So let's just see here. Still see how that's just not really convincing. Let's wait for it. That's a little VWAP pop. I might be, here we go. We did open above it. Let's go ahead and take some. We'll let this one ride a little bit because we got much bigger drawdown. Want to let it ride a little bit. See what she does. Got a little room. We got room to add on these. We got to pull back. We'll do some ads. We'll do a little fun trading here. A little different than micro scalping. Not changing rules, just changing up the setups. Or we could take some off the table if it comes. We did lose our volume, so we should have probably taken it right at the VWAP. We did have the sound, but I'm on the paper, and I'll just take a little bit of money off of it here in a second. We have a flatten button down here at the right, so we just flatten it there, and let's see what we got out of that. All right, that's a quick $200, so 240 on the day. Let's get us another momentum push. Really worried about that opening range high. And so let's just wait and see. Wait and see. Opening range high. Top of the regression. Linear regression channel. Sucker is playing. It's true resistance right there. Look how we came into the top of that channel. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see what she might want to do here. See what she might want to do.
Top ES sell. Top ES sell. Iceberg and Q sell. Top ES sell. Top ES sell. Top ES sell.
What?
Top
What
ES
his pad
sell.
is.
Top ES sell. Top NQ sell. Top ES sell.
Oh, Pat already closed out. Yeah, see there? Glad we took our profit. Rode right over, broke the VWAP. So the regression channel held, didn't even get close to the top of the opening range. So more proof right there of wild little scalping on these 1 minutes, especially on these choppy days. Choppy days, nothing really is taking momentum. This is a pretty nice run from about 9:16 to around right now, 9:27. Even at only 11 minutes. And, you know, look, that's a lot of chop in that 11-minute run. Obviously, you can see what direction it's going, but you went from below your moving average to struggling through them.
Top ES sell. Top ES sell.
Let's take us a little short right there, and let's flatten her out.
Top ES sell. Top ES sell.
Let's do it again. Nope, I think we're getting the paper accounters have a lot of slippage today. A lot of slippage today on the paper account. Just wait for it. Little momentums. Paper account always has a lot of slippage. It doesn't do that when you have your prop accounts or when you have your live account. This does not do that. Let's give him a like over here. 1029, 929. I think I'm gonna call it. In 1 minute, Tim. This is enough testing for me. And we got house guests coming, and I need to get some proposals done on the other stuff. And I need to work on the daughter's claim since I'm now fully in command of that rascal. Right, Kiki?
Right.
I got to do a whole subcontractor schedule. It's a nightmare. It's what I do. Let's see here. Look at that, how ugly that is today. Just ugly. Sitting on hands would have just been fine. Sometimes you make the most money not trading. Out the gate, first live performance, $1,000 loser. Well, we're going to have to do something. Let's see here. Let's have some fun with it. Let's make one big boy trade. Still got to wait for the setup. 9:30.
Stop ES sell. Stop ES sell. Stop NQ sell. Stop ES sell. Stop ES sell.
See what we got going there. call it there. 990 realized profit on the day in the paper account. So I'll take it. All right, Tim, I'm going to close this down. I'll call you shortly, buddy. Hopefully people learned about some setups. Sorry it didn't go as good as it could have went on making money, but all you can do is come back the next day and apply the exact same methodology and maybe make less mistakes and then continue going. That's all that you can do, and try to pull some money out. By all means, practice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment. Okay. Jim,